So, Ina, hello.
Yes, my dear. Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm very happy that you could join this project of mine and that you found time. Of course, now maybe is the best time to actually find time. But I think it will be very interesting and beneficial for a lot of people, and people will be curious to hear what we have to discuss. So thank you.
Thank you. Totally my pleasure. And I think that it's very nice that we can just get the time to chat together, and to share it with the rest will be just a bonus. So thank you for having me.
So, first thing is, please tell us where you are and how you're coping with the whole coronavirus situation.
Yes, so I'm currently in New York in my home. We've been under a lockdown since last Monday, so that's already a good 10 days. And that was also the last time that I had my practice. So things have changed quite a bit since, and the first few days was quite okay, but then of course you have your moments, your daily life is not the same as usual, so you have to get used to the new norm. So I've had a few tough days, I must admit. But now I'm on the better side of it, and I'm trying to figure out how is a good way for me to really spend the days, turning them into something productive, I guess. But yeah, it's at the moment my city is struggling quite a bit. New York is in a tough position. Yeah. So I'm hoping that we're going to come out better and stronger out of this, but it's not
as soon as possible as well, probably.
Exactly.
I think most of us go through this denial first, and frustration, and hoping that it will be finished soon, and then it's not, and then you kind of have to find a way of dealing with it and occupying yourself. And also, in a way, I find that you should really be kind of kind to yourself, and not really be so tough on yourself, thinking that you are not really achieving maybe things which you would be otherwise.
Exactly. There is no way that you would know how to react in a situation like this, because we've never had to be, it feels like an enforced stillness, we're always seeking for the stillness and for the calm, and now all of a sudden it's here, but it's underlined with a lot of unknownness and panic. So of course this is not an easy place to be. I think we're going to learn a lot about ourselves from this experience. So,
but I think at the same time it's quite nice that everyone is in the same situation, don't you think?
Yes, exactly. For once we could say, I know how you feel, because everyone is in the same boat. So yeah,
correct. Yeah. So my next question that I prepared, maybe a little bit because of this situation, but generally I think most of the people have maybe been through thought process like this. But basically, have you ever felt like quitting or thought of quitting? Not coronavirus, but in your career.
Quitting the things that are unnecessary of my life, yes, 100%. Quit them all the time, be aware. But I think you're asking me whether quitting my mission or whatever I have started in the dancing.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say quitting, but I would definitely say like checking in whether what I am doing is exactly the way I want it to be and the direction I want it to be. And I have started to do that much more often. So let's say checking in or questioning at all times, because I think that every day counts. So the more I can tune in and make sure that I'm in the right path, the better I'm going to be able to use my time and improve. So I wouldn't say quitting necessarily, but all the time questioning whether I'm on the right path for how I think the thing should be. Quitting is not.
But I mean, like I'm fed up with it. I'm going to, I don't want to do this anymore, even if it's like a momentarily, thing. And then you kind of take a few hours a day, a week, whatever, to think about it. And I'm like, no, I cannot live
that. Like this. Not every day is pink glasses, of course. And then we wake up sometimes. Generally, I am quite a joyful person and quite driven with a lot of energy. But there are 10% of the time that I would wake up and I think I actually do not feel for doing that. So if I feel like this, I make sure that I substitute it with something. Before I was in the denial of why am I feeling this? Oh, I shouldn't be feeling this. But it's absolutely human to not have the drive every single day. Yeah. So then I would try to substitute it with another activity, or just make sure that I have a certain amount of time to rechannel myself and get to the studio even for an hour and a half, and then just do some sort of a dry type of work that doesn't require my full inspiration to it, I still get something done. Even if I just climb one stair of the staircase a day, this is still okay. But definitely there have been times, I mean, I've been dancing most of my life. It would be weird if I didn't have moments like this. Yeah.
So in that sense, I had another question as well prepared, but you sort of led up to this, and it was about if you ever felt like making, or if you've ever made a major change in direction that you're going, or in your plan, because obviously you sound like someone that has a very clear awareness of your path, of your goal, of your journey, let's say, which you want to undertake. And also interesting to know if you've always been like this, or if it started, or if you've discovered this or became more clear on this, of course, as you became more mature, and if you feel like you've taken major sort of changes to it or not.
Yeah, I think that this drive and sort of discipline to have a certain path comes a bit from the culture that I come from, and from what I started in the beginning, because I was a rhythm gymnast at first before I was a dancer. So the discipline and the work ethic that they have over there in my country, especially with this type of sport, is very on point. So you learn to just be consistent, let's put it like this. A major change in the direction, yeah, I have, and even just moving another continent was a decision taken in 2 days, because I just felt, I felt it, and Trolls, of course, my partner felt it, that we just got too comfortable. And this is always the key. I think that comfort is kind of the killer of improvement, because it's nice and easy when you fall into a certain path because you know it's known for you. But when you get to that, I feel that there is no drive, no strive, no some sort of push towards getting better. Exactly, that hunger. So I think definitely checking in whether I'm in a too comfortable place would be a reason for me to make a major change. So yeah, I have done that quite a few times, both in my lifestyle choices and in my dancing as well.
Interesting. Yeah. But I suppose you can say you're not afraid of change, yeah? You've done it already.
To be honest, I really think that the change itself is not scary. It's the resistance to the change. Yeah. Like how you respond to that is much more the thing about it. Change is the only certain thing that we have in life, obviously. Now, I mean, who would have thought that now we would be sitting here with empty calendars, you know? Exactly. So it's how we respond to what's going on that actually makes it.
You are as well.
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
Interesting. I think it's very because I think a lot of people that I speak to, like, students of mine, I think they are thinking that they have to have a plan and it has to work according to the plan, and as long as it does, it's great. And whenever things start to go wrong, or expectations maybe are not fulfilled, they are, it's easy for them to quit. And maybe they think that for people who are successful, it's very easy to
No, I think that the ones that are successful actually have had much more things, many more hurdles than anybody else, for sure. And the great thing about this is that it's two of us, of course, that we actually get a chance to overcome this with another person and to share that. So sometimes maybe I'm not at my best, but he can pull me up through it, and vice versa. So that's, I think, something to really treasure.
For sure. So the next question then is, what is your definition of success, and how do you measure up to it, to your own definition of success?
That's a very nice question, I think, because for me, I would say there is two differences. A success in a personal fulfillment way is very important for me. So that is more on the side that how does it make me feel when I feel that I am successful. So this is just not for me to be good at something, but to be good for something in a way. I think it's very important for me. And obviously into the field that what we do, reaching out to other people's reaction and, come back as a feedback is very, very important to me. Sort of how do you inspire others to find the superhero in themselves, This is very, very much along the path of success for me, because it's very human and it's very interactive. So one way is that, and I would say another one is sort of the amount of freedom that I can get from something. To be fully free feels for me like I am in a success circle, because then I can make my choices however I would like them to be, do my time how I want it to be. So in order for me to have that freedom, I need to be successful in what I have been doing. So I think that it's the two different things. They meet somewhere along the line, but it's more or less within that path of thought, I guess.
And how do you measure up to it?
In terms of like how I feel I succeed within this?
How do you feel at this moment? Would you consider yourself successful? As to, of course, to a certain degree, there is never perfection, there is never the limit, that's what drives you anyway, but do you feel that you are feeling somewhat accomplished and you are feeling fulfilled at the moment with what you do and what you are managing to achieve, even though this is not the end goal perhaps yet, of course, but
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that what excites me is the fact that if you see things like that, it seems like everything is in my hands. So that means that everything that I can do, I want to do, and it's up to me whether it's going to be working or it wouldn't be. So I think that knowing, let's say, that these two things are so valuable to me, I try to shred off whatever else is unnecessary, so I can focus very much on this. And because it's a realization that comes stronger and stronger, I think the reaching of the goal towards it comes closer and closer. And again, it's a bit what we spoke about. If there is something on the way that doesn't necessarily comply with it, you have to bend around it, you have to groove around it in order for you to get to where you want things to be. So definitely I think it's getting closer, which is a nice feeling, but I still see it being kind of a far away light and spot, but it's nice to see it.
Yeah, yes, you need that light anyway in order to continue, and in order to push yourself and to discover yourself more and to further.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure. Okay,
exactly.
So the next question is, what would you like to be remembered for?
Woo! This is a strong one. This hits, yes.
I know. And it's also, of course, obviously a very, like, do we talk dancing? Do we talk generally as a personality, as a person? So you can define it any way that you want, and if you have thought about it or not.
I mean, there's a storm in my head going at the moment because there's a lot of things that circulate in my head. But I would say commitment is one of the things. So commitment with full authenticity, because I feel that I am personally driven to authentic people. You know, this is basically the thing that inspires me the most. So being remembered as my full authentic self would be a great thing, because you can't be wrong then. You know, people may like you or may not like you, but when you're fully yourself, people can see and can feel that. So I think that
people can experience you in different ways. Like
exactly,
I experience you is not necessarily the same way as someone else would experience you, right?
Yes,
but
exactly.
As long as I think we feel the real you, and we know we feel we know the real you, this is what you would basically like us to do.
Very much so, and to exactly connect to the lights and shades of my personality, because it relates in something in you. You know how it feels to feel like this, or to dance like this, or to be like this. So there is a relatability in it, you know, and I think that this is very important to me. So maybe that would be, if I have to summarize it as a one big thing, is to be remembered as a fully authentic person out there, both as a person and as a dancer, I would say.
Yeah. Okay. Then the next one is maybe also a little bit difficult, but not on such personal level. But what do you think about the development and the direction of the Latin American dancing today, where it is going towards?
I think it's why it's difficult to answer this question is because I am in it myself at the moment. There is a saying in my language, at least, you cannot see how big the ocean is if you're the fish inside the ocean. You kind of have to step away and really see it, because what I can only compare it with is what it has been before. So we grew up watching all these legends that are on a pedestal for us, and we just keep coming back to it, and always we think, oh, that was maybe a better time, you know, oh, they are better than what I can offer at the moment. And that's the humble part of you that says it. But I do think that there is the development in many ways of knowledge of the body is very, very greater than what it was before. There is many tools that we use also in dance and outside from dance to make our vocabulary of movement much richer. But that also sometimes can take us away from the essence of what really Latin American dancing is. And because there's so many great teachers out there as well that have so much input, sometimes being a student and receiver of that, we can get a little bit lost into what is it exactly that I want to put out there. So I think the options are more, the knowledge is more, but so is a little bit the indirectness of things. So I think that it would be nice if we are aware of everything, and at the same time we stick very much to what it feels like instinctively for us, you know. But as I think in general, if someone would look back on that generation that we're part of, I think that they would feel just different about the generation before. I'm not quite sure how different it would be looked upon, to be honest with you, but it will for sure be different. One thing that I just want is that we also bring back a little bit more that authentic music that is being danced to. This I definitely miss actually in a lot of the competitions, and I wish if something can be improved, one of the things would be that, because dancing is a response to the music. So if we get better music, our bodies that are more knowledgeable now should be expressing that in a much more authentic way. So I think this is something important to consider.
Yeah, for sure. And also there's an education for, say, younger dancers, right?
Yes.
Because that music is maybe not, you know, you would not hear this kind of music on the radio, on the TV or whatever. Spotify perhaps, but you need to educate younger dancers a little bit as well, so that they grow up enjoying the music, relating to the music, and performing to that music, feeling
100%.
That music.
I couldn't agree more.
And also in terms of what do you feel about the abundance of like videos and different things on social media nowadays? Because of course even when I was growing up, we didn't have this possibility at all to see such a wide range of things, and basically there is no filter, you know what I mean? You can watch anything and anyone can tell you things, and you just have to hope those are the right things, and you have to hope that you're watching the right, you know, right. The things that you're enjoying watching are the things which will benefit you. And I find that it is quite difficult as a teacher as well nowadays, because there is so much information coming to your students from all these channels that it's and you don't want to tell them, well, don't watch this, don't watch this. But what do you feel about this?
I can only say it as from a competitor's point of view, like as a teacher. I don't even feel that I'm a teacher yet, because I'm a student very much myself at this point in time, right? But I feel that exact abundance that you are saying, and everything is out there on a plate, a click away for you, puts everyone a little bit on the passenger seat. So that means that hunger to really discover it yourself, to dig in, to, you know, get together with other dancers and actually discuss it. You know, how many times we have been after a practice or after a competition, we sit in the hotel room, we're not going to talk about dancing, right? And then we end up discussing a back basic into an overturn or something, and everybody is putting their input on it, and no, maybe it's like this because like that, and it takes you hours to just get to that one possible conclusion of things. And I think that that's not there anymore, which also, you know, separates people a little bit and makes it a little bit less human. And you know, exactly, you just want to involve yourself more into this. But it's the same thing when you're looking for a song. I mean, 10 years ago, whenever you would hear a song, you didn't have Shazam to put on and then really figure it out. You had to really pass through thousands of ways to research to get it. And when you got it, the satisfaction is like, yes, I found it, you know. And we don't have these moments anymore because everything is so easy out there. So that's actually what I think. Of course, it has a lot of pluses, of course, because we live in a world that things happen so quick. But I think that this element of discovery is not quite there anymore.
Yeah, it lacks a little bit of hunger as well from people.
Yes,
like it doesn't it doesn't make you hungry for the information. I think,
exactly.
But at the same time, it gives access to a lot of people who would not have access to information and videos otherwise. So I think this is it's the good.
This is also good because then whoever deals with it best is the one that is going to move up. So that's a form of a competition as well.
Yes, true. Okay. Next question. So how do you motivate yourself when you don't feel like, for example, going to practice, putting your shoes on, whatever? And what do you feel drives you? But I guess we already touched on this a little bit in terms of your path and your goals and things like this. But like, you wake up, you have to go to practice and you don't really feel like going to practice. Does this happen?
It happens sometimes, yes. It's not that often, but it does happen every now and again. And that means that my tuning for the day is probably not set correctly, or I'm not at peace with something. So I do know myself quite well. How do I relax, or how do I rechannel into things? And it's actually through another activity. I feel that resting and being in my personal space is important, but if I need to motivate myself, I need to feel the rush in a certain way from another source. So for example, I do have a natural pull towards the arts, and something that I'm not good at, let's say, would be installations, right? So I think if I go to a museum and I observe someone's work and I can see what they put into that, I feel that there is a certain rush of me, like, oh, I want to express that as well, you know? So I think this is really, really fun to go and watch someone else's work, because it's relaxing, but at the same time, it's like kicking all those moments in your head. Oh, I want to do the same through my medium, of course. Yeah. And another way how I would re-inspire is always to take a class of something that I have never taken a class before at. You know, to feel like a beginner into something is very
challenges of the things that are not familiar.
Yes, exactly, because I feel that then the path is long, you know. So when the path is long, you're okay. I need to prepare to start that path, and I'm not scared of that personally. So this makes me put my trainers on and go ahead and do it. So it will be from anything from taking a Gaga class, which is something that I'm very excited about at the moment, you know, to going to a meditation class as well, because I'm so on that for me to be able to bring myself down is quite a challenge as well. So just things like that motivate me, because I feel they open a new door in my personality that I didn't necessarily know that I have, and that gives a nice boost, a nice feeling of energy rush, and then I'm ready to go. But I think it's important to know what really drives you and what doesn't.
So how did you discover what drives you? How did you discover all these things? Did you have an inclination, sort of what it is that inspires you towards from the beginning, or did you go actively searching for it? What is the process in that sense?
I think that I made sure that the environment I'm in offers it. That's one of the reasons that I moved to New York City, because this place offers it in every single corner. You can take a course about something you never thought existed, you know, and then you can join it. And also saying yes to it, you know, saying yes to, there's this thing, would it be stupid to try it? Some people maybe say, you know, it will be stupid, or I would say, no, I would definitely go ahead and give it a shot. What is there to lose? So being open to these things is very productive for me, because there is a lot out there. There is a lot, and people are great at it. You know, sometimes you think like, oh, that's such a niche. How could it be so detailed or so much process going into it? And then you visit the class about African isolation, and you are there shocked by the teacher, you know, how they move themselves, how they explain themselves. It's fantastic. So I think that I just made sure that I surrounded myself with it, and I think it's a natural pull that I have towards it that I didn't even know necessarily that I verbalized, but it just made me do it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very important, I guess, to make those opportunities for yourself. Yeah,
Yes.
to get out and to explore and to not be afraid to try things. And if you hate it, you hate it. You might.
Yes.
And if you
yes.
love it. Yeah.
And to tell you the truth, also to do things that you previously thought that you're not supposed to be doing, like taking some time for yourself to go out and go to the club, and then be okay with the fact that the day after maybe you would need to skip a practice, you know, because then you would have gained so much joy, so much drive. Yes. This is so important. I mean, we've done this together with our friends too, and it's so nice. You feel like revived after that.
You need other things. You need other things to inspire you, to make you happy, to whatever.
I mean, I think it's very simple. The formula is like, the quality of what you do depends very much on the quality of your lifestyle. So if your lifestyle is not versatile, your product or your dancing wouldn't be either, because you have to dig it from your personal experience. So that's very clear to me.
Interesting. Very good. Let's see next question. So now it's maybe a little bit unexpected one. So what would you do if you won $10 million?
Very interesting. How would I win them? First, I have to enter some sort of a lottery.
The lottery. Okay, you found the lottery ticket, let's say, outside of your house, and then you won $10 million. So,
I like that question. This is making me think. But on the top of my head, first and foremost, I would make sure that I spend a lot of that amount for my family, and to give back to them. They've always been so supportive and so non-interfering into what I do. You know, the best parents, they're there for me, but not interfering into what I was doing. So I would love to give back to them, because they've been giving me all the way through, and they just keep supporting. And it would be wonderful if I can, you know, take them on a world tour, you know,
to see this. Not on a cruise, right?
Not on a cruise. I'm not into that. No, on a world tour where they can really visit and see. And traveling is a humongous part of my inspiration and what I would love. So traveling would be a big part of where I would spend that money for. And then I think it would be nice if I make sure that I participate in something to our community and our industry, that I create a base where we can all get together whenever we want, you know, and then just dance together, come together as one and dance together in a place where everybody feels welcome, everybody feels safe, everybody feels that there is a knowledge that is driving. I think that would be amazing. I don't know if 10 million would be enough for all of this, but I think that it would be wonderful just for us, where we can do different activities together. Because I just think, even though I'm competing now and I stopped competing at one point, dancing would always be there, you know, in some form and shape. So that would be wonderful, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So is it like type of a studio or some sort of like a space? Yeah, you're talking about the space where you can come and experience also different kind of dancing and feeling free and sort of not restricted by
exactly that type of space. Maybe it's not even existing at the moment, like a lab or some sort of like academy or something like that, where we can all just get together. But it sounds like so distant when I say it at the moment, but if the money just dropped right now, why not start?
I'm really wishing that you would go out and find this $10 million thing now.
Maybe I should go and actually put the lottery in.
Do you play a lottery?
I've never done it. I've never done it. I don't consider myself that lucky, but who knows? Hey, if you don't try, you never know.
You're lucky, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We should all start, and then you never know.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, tell us a surprising fact about yourself.
Let me think. Something you don't know about me?
Yeah, but something, you know, like something maybe completely unrelated to how we know you, or not related to dancing. Maybe it's, I don't know, a talent.
Well, I'm a huge fan of rave parties. Okay, so maybe people would not expect to hear that, and I get a great kick out of going to one. So I would easily pack my bag for a weekend and go to another country or another continent even, just to hear my favorite DJs play together with people that I also do not know. I've taken this trip with friends, and I have taken it also by myself, and I have made new friends on the way. So that adventure,
that is cool.
I think it's quite fun. And I don't know if people would expect to hear me do that, but I do that every now and again, and I gain a lot of joy and re-inspiration from it. So yeah, I'm quite a lot into that. Actually, going to Burning Man would be very much on my list, because it's something that I've wanted to do. It's just that I don't know if I can take up 1 week of my calendar in order to devote to it. But if I have the chance, I would go in a heartbeat. So maybe
that is cool. That is cool.
Yeah. I love
what kind of music? What kind of what kind of rave party would it be?
Well, the rave parties are more like an electronic house music, which I totally didn't know that I liked. But then last year at New Year's Eve, I went with my friends, and it was like an amusing out-of-body experience to be able to be participate, because the DJs are mixing the music in front of you. They're not prepared with the set. They just do it in front of you and with the lights, and you have to experience it kind of on your own because it's loud. So you're there just with yourself. Yes. So you are just doing that. And I don't drink anymore, so I experience it with my bottle of water, you know. But it's such a strong sensation. Exactly, such a strong sensation that you just feel like reborn after doing it. And I think it's very, very exciting to do that. So yeah, and Burning Man, I don't know if people are very familiar with it, but that's out in the desert in Nevada, you know, and people dress up in these fantastic clothes, and they build these incredible architectures, and they are together, and they're just one. They're one in that desert for 10 days, and then you leave, and then you have a whole lot of community that you belong to. And I think that's so wonderful, because you have another part of your family somewhere. So I think that's really exciting.
That's really cool, Ina.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm sure people will be surprised.
Yeah. You don't see me often do that, but yeah, I do enjoy it.
We need to join you on one of these races.
Yes, you're always welcome. You're always welcome.
Excuse, really, we are not competing.
Exactly.
Okay. So, second last question is: are you normally late or are you normally early?
Early, always early. I don't know whether it's because I travel so much that I cannot be late for my flights or anything, but I just like to be there well in advance. So if I have to be somewhere at 10 o'clock, you'll probably find me 20 to 10, you know, I'll be there always early. Yeah.
Okay. And so are you the same personality on and off the dance floor, do you think?
I am the same person, that's for sure. I think that it's different sides of my personality that I unveil whenever I'm dancing and whenever I am just myself. And really, the two have collaborated a lot. You know, in general, as a person off the floor, there are things that sometimes I wouldn't be going for, but dancing has taught me to be much more fierce and much more, going for things in life. And what my life experience has taught me is to be more softer, more genuine, more there for people whenever I'm the dancer, you know me. So I think they feed off each other, but definitely the person is the same. Yeah.
I think it comes back to authenticity, doesn't it? If you're searching for that authenticity, you would struggle, I suppose, to put a different persona on the floor, isn't it?
Yes.
That kind of,
and now you're asking me exactly.
Purpose a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, you're asking me this question in a moment where I have already been through quite a lot of metamorphosis, let's say, but there have been times where I haven't felt that I was myself.
Yeah.
You know, so then you really need.
It's normal as well. It's a process.
Very normal. It's very
normal to know who you are as well. Sometimes, it takes time. It takes work. It takes experience.
Exactly, because you know who you are through partially what people tell you are, and you're like, oh, maybe this is what I am, partially through what you feel, partially through where you want to go. So there's so many branches of the tree. But yeah, and I kind of feel that I'm more at one with that, but that doesn't mean that at one point it's gonna, you know, distract itself again and I have to work towards it, and I'm ready for it. So, you know, you just have to, life is not linear in that way, so I'm ready to groove with it however I need to. Yeah.
So thank you very much for your answers. I think it's great to talk to someone who is open to like you said, to be yourself, you know, to not to be afraid to show who you are, and to let us in a little bit into your own thought process, into your own character, into your own sort of personality. And I think it's really refreshing and it's really nice, and that's why I also wanted to talk to you first, to get that authentic experience more than anything else, and to get the understanding of who you are. And I think a lot of people would be interested to listen and to know.
Oh, I'm grateful for that, and I am totally participating in this with an open heart, and I think it's a fantastic idea, and you should keep doing it with more and more personalities, because I would be interested to hear so many people that I haven't been able to really speak to before, how they are actually in life, and this is a great opportunity for us all to. So thank you for having me as well.
And we have the time, right? So let's do it.
Yes, let's do it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.